Christy and Susan's presentation that I really do think a lot of this will be echoed in the recommendations that everyone provided and the case itself. So can you go to the next slide, please? Challenging. Growing up, I thought summer was the best thing ever. Having a son with autism, it is definitely his most challenging season. There's a change in routine, there's lack or limited structure school time, limited availability of summer camp options, and in those, some of them can be really expensive, and then also sometimes there's just not the support in place that you need. So a lot of challenges associated with camps. And then just navigating crowds at popular summer destinations. I know when we go to places like an amusement park, we look to try to go during the week and try to seek out those days where it's a little less crowded. Next slide. Okay, so we know it's going to be, it could be a challenging season for our kiddos. So really, how do we prepare for that? So if your child is in ESY or camp, a lot of the time the teachers are different, or if a camp, you have a different camp counselor. So really just getting your child familiar with that new routine. I suggest scheduling a visit to the school and the camp if it's a place that your child's not familiar with. And then another thing we like to provide for my son is just a one-page 101. So this is how old he is, this is what he likes, this is his challenges, and here are some sensory supports that we provide him. And I find if I provide that to a new teacher or a camp counselor, it can be very informative for them in helping just get them to know my son as well. Another thing, and we touched on this a little bit in the case, is the importance of creating a summer schedule. So we want to build routine into our days as much as possible. One suggestion is making a calendar of the summer and highlighting some special activities that you're going to try to do throughout the summer with your child. Leveraging visual schedules. Considering your child's interests and look to build activities around those interests. My son loves trains, so we either try to do a train ride in the summer or travel somewhere where they might have a train museum or some history with trains, etc. So you can kind of use that same model with any sort of interest. And then you want to look at how you can integrate daily living and academic skills, just refresher skills, into your routine at home. So I know we talked about in the case chores and kind of again like those living routines, scheduling some reading time to work on academics. Is there a computer program or worksheets that can be sent home at the end of the year for math skills, etc.? Just to kind of keep that routine for your child. All right, next slide. Okay, so one suggestion that someone provided me a while ago was building a summer survival kit. So just having a kit or backpack on hand, whether it be in your car or traveling, to help ease your child's anxiety. So some suggestions on what to do, what to add to that are fidgets, noise canceling headphones, a favorite book or toy, sensory toys. And then I know my son has a lot of challenges with heat in the summer. He gets hot very quickly. So a fan or cooling towel to have available. And then a change of clothes or bathing suit. So if your child is getting hot and jumps to the pool, they want to have dry clothes when they get back in the car, etc. But just kind of thinking of what makes your child successful throughout the day, and having those tools on hand in a bag that you can quickly grab, and would just kind of help your child transition into the day a little bit easier. Okay, and then these are some ideas for managing the day-to-day. Just getting the family's input, right? So as parents, we can come to the table and we can say, hey, we want to do XYZ each day. But you want to get your child's input as well. If it's something that they really want to do, um, kind of getting them excited and motivated for the day and giving, and in that structured summer day that you're trying to provide for them. And then know what time of day is best for your family if you're venturing out. Again, my son has a lot of sensitivity to heat and a lot of sun. So if we're going to go to the park as a family, I know that we're going to do that early in the morning in my house, or maybe wait till like 7 o'clock at night when it's dusk. Just again, finding that time that works best for your family to be successful. And then we touched upon this a little bit in the case, but looking to social media for sensory days that are offered at different venues in or around the community. So there is, I know, the water park in the Showboat down in Atlantic City has sensory Sundays. The aquarium in New Jersey has them. The Please Touch Museum. There's just a lot of different events out there. It's really kind of takes some digging. If you look at like go on Facebook and find an local autism page, or even just do some Google searching, you'll be amazed at the different events that are out there. And the nice thing about them is when they have these sensory days, they're usually modifying the experience for everybody. They're turning down the lights. If they're playing music, it's at a lower volume. They're only accepting so many people in the door that day, so the crowds are down. So it really, something that might seem daunting and overwhelming could really be successful for your family during some of these sensory days. And then, and then going back, just keeping in mind water safety, looking to join a local pool or lake to beat the heat. I know we talked about a YMCA, something like that. If you're close to a beach, possibly going to the beach during the day. Just kind of looking for different things. Water, if you're safe in water, it really can be a calming strategy for your child. And then venturing to new parks in around your community. I know when we look for parks, we look for something that is fenced in. So we know my child won't elope from the park that we're in, but just kind of venturing out and seeing what else is in or around or just outside your community. Kind of reiterate, in line with everything else I was saying, is just looking for local support groups. Find your village and look for those people that can help and support you, or have a child with a similar interest and needs, and maybe you meet them at the park, kind of add some routine with another family into your day. And then it's really important to schedule some downtime throughout the day. I think sometimes as parents, we feel like we need to go, go, go. But some downtime could be good for everybody. And then at the end of the day, keep it simple. Kids find joy in some of the simplest tasks sometimes. So a picnic in the backyard, building a fort, running through a sprinkler. Those are just some ways to beat the heat and enjoy summer that don't cost money. You can do them at your home, and I find that kids really enjoy those. Next slide. Okay, so summer is a big time with vacations. And I will say there are so many resources out there for travel for people with disabilities, but it's not always easy to find. So if you call ahead, many hotels, parks, and airlines offer disability accommodations. You just really have to put yourself out there and ask. And then you want to talk to your child prior to and during the travel about the trip and what those expectations will be. Are you going to stay in a hotel? How many days are going to be away? What's available to them, etc. And then also solicit their input of what they would like to do while on the trip. When traveling with others, you want to communicate your child's needs ahead of time. If you know your child might not be successful at the beach and peak the day, and you're going on a beach vacation with other family, simply saying like, hey, we go to the beach 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we hang till 7, whatever that is that works for your family. Communicating that ahead of time just helps manage everybody's expectations and ease some anxiety. And then again, visual schedules, sensory supports, favorite snacks, having all those on hand for your child. And I think the last thing and really important is if something isn't working, you don't have to force it. You always want to have a contingency plan. If I want to take my family to the beach and my son is having a hard time, we'll divide and conquer. 2 of us will stay at the beach and the other 2 will go back to the hotel and just take some downtime. And then just importance of adding breaks into the day to just rest and recharge. Next slide. Okay, resources. So again, there is a ton of resources out there. You really just have to find them. So many sensory friendly days and events. There is a group called Heart of Surfing out of the New Jersey shore, and they do events throughout the summer. I believe once a month, where they have usually about 50 volunteers go out and they support children with various disabilities in learning to surf. So it's an event in the morning. It's a great sense of community. It's a free event. We've attended a couple times and they have them up and down the New Jersey shore. Then another thing is amusement parks and concert venues. A lot of those are autism certified now. Again, just kind of Googling, finding out what is offered. And then the other thing is disability access passes. So most of the amusement parks around us have a disability access pass. And if you go to the guest services, you are usually able to get one of those. And it allows you to, if you have to if there is a long wait for a ride, you either can go to the front of the line or you can wait that time that someone will wait in line, out of line, and then jump in like 60 minutes later, etc. So there is a lot out there to that make these places, which might seem a little bit daunting, more accessible for our kiddos. And then travel. What I came across recently was the Autism Travel Club. So it is an app that you can download. It is there's a free resource and then you can pay for it as well, but it has by state different accessible restaurants, activities, etc. that are whether it be autism certified or have sensory hours, etc., that are available in that location. So that's something that we found really helpful on a recent trip to Myrtle Beach. And then there's also a cruise airline that does called Autism by the Sea. So that is a another resource for vacations as well. Next slide. Okay. So just in closing, you want to keep in mind, summer's going to go by really quick. Make time for yourself as the caregiver. You can't take care of anybody else when you're pouring from an empty cup. And challenges from last summer can turn into this summer's wins. So don't let past experiences prevent you from trying something again. Something that might have been really hard for your child might end up being a favorite activity if you kind of just approach it a different way, or just kind of learning from last experience what worked, what didn't work. But don't be afraid to try. I know we had a summer where the beach was really hard for us as a family, and it was very daunting that summer. And we almost didn't try going back the next summer, but we did. And now it ends up being one of my son's favorite places to be. It's very calming for him now. And then the other thing is you may see behaviors or aggression during the summer months. So you just want to be mindful that they will likely resolve themselves a few weeks into the school year. A lot of it is that lack of routine. I know my son last year had an injury in the middle of summer, and he had no real routine for about 5 weeks in the summer. And by the time it was back to school, we were all like, oh my gosh, what has happened? And our developmental pediatrician was very mindful to say, like, let's give it a couple weeks, let him get back into routine. And we did see those behaviors resolve themselves just once he was back into that routine. And then last thing before I go is just enjoy your time with your child. Before you know it, we'll be back to September routines. Does anyone have any questions?